So, Shri Akal, welcome to I'm a Brown Girl. My name's Emma. Usually, for each episode, I know what I want to talk about, but today it's going to be a little bit different. I've recently been feeling like I don't have a sense of belonging, which is quite common, and I have spoken about it before. I have also been kind of feeling a bit questionable about my queerness. I'll go into it a bit more. So I thought, okay, let me talk about it from a present point of view in terms of my identity, my queerness, a sense of not belonging. And hopefully that resonates with you. Firstly, I want to mention that this feeling of not belonging is a universal experience, regardless of where you come from. It's just, it depends on your experience and the identity you're trying to figure out. And having to figure that out can be extremely overwhelming and isolating. I think in terms of my present experience now, I'm having these feelings because I realized that I would like more queer friends. And the friends I have now who are amazing, I love them very much. I've openly expressed in my previous episodes that I don't know where I'd be without them and I love them very much. However, I feel because they've never experienced it, they're unable to relate. And that doesn't mean it's their fault. It's just I would like to have more friends who are queer so they can understand me better. I feel very vulnerable sharing this. I don't want my friends to look at me and think, wow, Emma, like, can you not talk to us? Like, of course I can. But I don't know. There's just something about, I guess, talking to someone you don't know. There's a clean slate. So their opinions and advice is only based off the information I'm giving them because they know nothing about me from the past. I have gay friends. I have bi friends. I have bi-curious friends. But lesbian friends? I don't know. Where are they? Where are the lesbians at? I think in terms of feeling like a sense of belonging when it comes to the Desi community and my family and relatives, I have worked very hard to move past that. And I'm very comfortable with the idea that they do not need to know a certain side of me, especially my queer side and how my friends know me, just because A, they don't need access to that side of me, and B, they just wouldn't understand, and C, I don't want to have to sit there and explain myself as to why I am the way I am when I have a community who loves and accepts me. If you're someone who is struggling with your sense of belonging, especially if you're a person of color, South Asian, and you know that your immediate family and community wouldn't accept you, I hope that you find the courage to venture out and connect with people who do understand you. And I know it's a lot easier said than done. And I think there's a massive loneliness epidemic at the moment where people after COVID lack connection and a lot of people feel lonely and just, this desire to have a conversation and connect with someone is something that is not being met amongst many people. Please DM me. I'm happy to hear you out. I'm happy to hear your story. I'm happy to be friends. And as I'm saying this, I am looking for more friends, queer friends to connect with. So yeah, please feel free to DM me. Another personal story that has been pondering in my mind is my hair. So I made a decision that over the summer, I really want to cut my hair short. I'm talking like pixie cut short, gonna look quite cute. I think it will suit me pretty well. And I told my really good sis that, I'm going to cut my hair. And she said, oh, don't cut your hair before my wedding because we need to put a paranda in it, which is like hair jewelry. And you need long hair to be able to braid the jewelry in, which I understand it's her wedding. And maybe there's a certain look that she wants me to have, especially because I'm pretty much like her sister, kind of like maid of honor, bridesmaid. So, I have an important role in the wedding, so I understand. But at the same time, I'm just like, I could just wear a wig. But then I had to ask myself that, do I have the capacity to be judged at her wedding? Because her family are really lovely and I care about them. I love them very much. But they are also quite typical Desi. And I don't know if I have the capacity to be judged about, oh, Aman's cut her hair. Aman's cut her hair. Oh, she looks like a tomboy. She looks like a tomboy. And maybe it's all in my head. I know I can just wear a wig, but I'm struggling with that and the judgment that I could face. And if I have the capacity to even deal with it, I don't know if that is what is going to happen, but it's just a fear of, oh, I don't want someone to say something negative about me. Like, will I look nice in a lenga, which is Asian wear, with short hair? Probably, I'm sure I'd look very beautiful, but it's like, would I feel as confident? So I don't know why I'm having these feelings, but if anyone is able to relate with that, please let me know. Drop me a message. I'd love some reassurance or just to hear someone who's experienced something like that. I spoke to my best friend and she just looked at me like, Amma, it's literally your hair. Do whatever the hell you want. Why do you even need to consider not cutting your hair for a wedding? Like, come on, do your thing. I think cutting my hair would really help me affirm my identity because I've always had to worry about the judgments of people. But cutting my hair is quite a bold move for me. So if cutting it would mean that I'd have to face the brunt of it, hopefully that would help me become more accepting of it, or I guess desensitized to it, or just give less of a shit and be able to love myself regardless. And I do love myself, I really do, but cutting your hair is just a whole nother level. It's a big change. And of course that comes with people's opinions, especially when you're brown, queer, and you've got chat shit aunties and uncles around you. Oh yeah, there was another thing that happened not too long ago with my dad. And that really made me feel quite rattled and question my identity and my happiness, quite frankly. So me and my parents had gone away for the weekend and we were spending time in Swindon, Slough, just with family. And it was a really good time. But during the whole time, I am usually the one always asking my dad deep questions because I genuinely take an interest in his life. And since he's gotten older, I really want to know more about him. And we've recently connected again. So I feel it's really important to get to know him as a person from now, from before, how he thinks, everything, because I genuinely care to know and I want to know how he is as a person. But when I came home, I was like, Dad, I literally spent 2 whole days with you and not once did you ask me, are you okay? How are you doing? And he was like, oh, you're always fine. You're fine. You're always good. Like, I don't need to ask you. You're always good. You're always smiling. No, there's no problems. You've not got a lack of anything. You're happy. Da, 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 da. So I said to him, I was like, I understand that, but you never actually asked me if I'm okay. So the likelihood of me coming to you if something was wrong is very low because you never actually asked me if I'm okay. I was saying this to my best friend and she was like, oh, that's just a dad thing. My dad doesn't really ask me how I am either. He just kind of thinks I'm all right all the time when she's not. Now, I don't really know if that's a dad thing, but it might be. And if it is, I don't really like it. I said to him that on paper, his life looks pretty perfect, but there are times that he's quite miserable, which is the reality of it. And I think a lot of our parents are because, you know, they got married when they were young. They've got a nice house, car, money, stability from the outside is what it looks like. But when you actually look in on them, they're not the most happiest people. But I was saying how if you put my life on paper, it looks like utter shite to him, depending on what he would consider to be happy. But in reality, I'm an extremely happy person. I'm very happy. I'm happy to be alive. I don't think we have the same idea of happiness, and that's fine. I am convinced that everyone has an inner voice where if you are unhappy, that voice will get louder and louder and louder until it's the only thing you can hear. And it's up to you to make that change in your life so that you are no longer miserable. But I think a lot of people decide to ignore that voice for as long as they can until they crash out and it's too late. I sometimes question if everyone is living authentically, and they surely can't be, but it takes a lot of guts to live authentically and it's not always easy. But as I said, it's really up to you to listen to that inner voice. And anyone who says that they haven't got that inner voice, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say you're lying, because that just can't be true. You have to have that inner voice. Unless you're really dense, then I don't know. In terms of my queerness and being South Asian, when it comes to my community and my family, it's something that I'm very proud of. I'm glad that my dad knows. I can live in peace knowing that he knows. And it's something that I don't rub in his face or either of my parents' face. And I haven't told my mum blatantly, but she hasn't ever changed the way she treats me. I don't feel like it's a piece of information I need to tell her because she's not stupid. She's my mum. She knows. I don't feel like I need to go to her and be like, Mum, I'm gay. Because she's just going to look at me and be like, okay. And I'm really liking the relationship we have. So it's going pretty well. But because I don't bring it up all the time and it's not really in their face, maybe they just choose to pretend it's not real. I don't know. But I'm also not coming to them saying that, hey, I'm going to get married to a woman tomorrow. But we'll just have to wait until I decide to tell them that I want to settle down with a woman or whoever really and see how they respond. But I'm just glad that I've bursted their bubbles early on and they don't really expect much from me because they can't. This is me. They know I'm the black sheep of the family. Ironic that I'm wearing black. I like how this episode was pretty much a check-in and kind of showed how I'm doing. It's very real time of the things I'm going through. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty good, pretty happy. Again, no major life updates. Life is great. Can't complain. Sun is shining. I'm alive. I'm well. I've had my breakfast and now I'm going to go and edit. So yeah, I hope you guys are also doing well. If you've made it to the end of this episode, I really appreciate it. Again, thank you for your engagement. Means the world to me. So thank you. If you were able to relate to this episode, or if you are looking for more queer friends, or you want to just share your story and have someone to talk to, please, please, please feel free to DM me. I am here to listen. This is a safe space. Apart from that, that's the end of today's episode. I thank you so much for watching. I thank you so much for listening. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Sat Shri Akal. Bye.